Hello and welcome to another Roaming Norway YouTube video. Our Tesla Model Y is in for repair. We got a dent. I have an entire video on that. He was caught with Sentry mode and everything. Now we got our time slot for our repair, so it's in for repair. And that will take a long time apparently. It's just the tiniest little dent, but they're going to pull out the dent and then repaint a little bit, like micropaint. I think that's the solution for fixing this rather small issue. Anyway, this means that we don't have our Tesla Model Y, so we have a loaner from the repair shop. So our loaner is this 2025 ID.3 Pure business line. And that basically means that it's the cheapest ID.3 that you can get, but you get a few things that's nice to have, like adaptive cruise control and a backup camera, which in my opinion is essential in a car. So in this video I'm going to explain how it is to live with this car, because I've had it for a few days now. I've been able to drive it around in the city and of course on back roads, testing out the performance, the insane performance of this 125 kilowatt motor or 170 horsepower. But yeah, it's such a fun, nice little car. I actually like the ID.3. It is the most sold electric car in Germany at the moment. Of course, that's probably due to leasing deals or just insane deals on the ID.3 Pure. But yeah, today I'm going to go through the car quickly and then I'm going to talk a little bit about how it is to live with. I'm going to talk about the software in this video, but I already made a video going through everything with the software, explaining how the software is so much better in this car than in the earlier MEB cars that I have driven. I've driven the ID bus, the ID.4, earlier ID.3s, everything, and the ID.7 of course, which is an amazing car. But the software in the newest version here is the best version of the Volkswagen software, and I actually think it's not terrible anymore. And if you want to watch that video, I'll link it down below, but I basically explained that the software in Volkswagen cars are not terrible anymore. So let's jump in to the ID.3 Pure. So here we have the door panel, which I always talk about. And why do I talk about the door panel? I talk about the door panel because it shows what kind of materials they have gone for. So we have a soft touch leather-like material on the top here. Looks kind of interesting. We have the door handle in plastic, feels okay. The door mechanism is nice. We have this textile material here, which shows that this is not the top interior that you can get in this car always when they use textile like this. And here we have the MEB plastics, like I like to call them, because it's gloss black plastics exactly where you want to touch, which is, in my opinion, a bad idea, because you get fingerprints and it's of course difficult to clean off, very difficult to clean off, and you have like a permanent dirt on these kind of parts. I wish they didn't have that. Here we have hard plastics, MEB hard plastic, or German hard plastic, which is very typical of German cars on the bottom here to save money. I just mentioned it, I'm not complaining at the price point. This is completely fine, of course. We don't have any hard like edges that you will cut yourself on. It seems nicely tapered, which is cool, and we have a little bit of felt material inside here. So that's basically the door panel, and that's basically how the interior in this car is in general. We get this kind of soft touch on the entire dashboard. Here it's a little bit harder, but it doesn't feel that cheap. It's matte, it's nice, actually, it feels okay. Steering wheel is very good in terms of shape, very bad in terms of actual usability on these buttons. I don't like these ones. These are haptic, but the problem with them is that they have, actually they are real buttons. The entire thing presses down and it, like, it's one action, but it detects where your finger is. The haptic is delayed, which is my main gripe with this system. Also, this is glossy black plastic, so it will get dirty immediately. Blinker stalk, very nice. The blinker stalk is has a nice action. It will hold itself down, and yeah, it's just typical MEB Volkswagen things, but I actually like this blinker stock. I just wanted to mention it. Here we have the gear selector, and the gear selector is great. We have normal accelerator and brake pedal. In higher trims you get like the play and pause button, which is awesome. But something I do like about the brake pedal is that it's the on button. So now the car is active. You don't need to press the start stop button on the side here. Something I like, and something that's very nice about this car, and that I'm used to from a Tesla. So we go into drive. You go into drive. If you do it twice, you go into B. If I now press brake and then go into drive again, it automatically goes into B, which is fantastic. That's great. And I let go of the brake pedal, it will hold it itself. I go on the accelerator. I'm on a closed course, by the way, so this is completely safe. Here we are actually creeping forward in 5 kilometers per hour. Now, if I go into reverse, I can do that directly without pressing the brake pedal. It will go backwards in 5 kilometers per hour, and you don't need to go on the brake pedal in between. The problem here is that we don't have one pedal driving, but the tuning itself, let's try to come to a stop, pressing the brake pedal slowly, 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 until we stops. There we go. Super smooth. A little bit of like, you can hear the brake kind of come in, and if I let go of the brake pedal now, we will actually accelerate up to 5 kilometers per hour again. And if I brake, we will come to 0. And if I press the brake a little bit more down, actually it's perfect amount of force, you get the hold. So then you have the hold stuff. So comparing this to other cars that I've driven recently, the tuning itself is fantastic. The way it drives is amazing, in my opinion. The MEB cars drive really, really great. They feel so solid. They feel reliable somehow. I'm not sure how to explain this, but when you drive it, it feels reliable. It is predictable. It is safe. It's not super fun because of the power limit that we have on this car. It's 125 kilowatts in the rear. That's insane. That's less than the i3 that I had, and that's a lighter car. So what else is there to say about this car? I think it drives great. It's rear-wheel drive. It's pretty fun for the power level. I think you would, yeah, at this power level and this price point, it's difficult to find something that's more fun. Maybe a Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive, it has way more power, but this car is way cheaper right now, the ID.3 Pure. Of course, it depends on your market. Some markets it is more expensive, some markets have insane deals and incentives. Software has been great for me, actually. So surprised that I made an entire video on the software itself, so you can check out that one if you're interested in more software stuff. But basically, just to sum it up, we have battery preconditioning, manual automatic, we have a great route planner, and we actually have yeah, it will like show you all the charging stops along the way immediately, very fast, even though we have like the worst 4G connection ever right here. So impressed with the software, because it's Volkswagen, of course. Coming from a Tesla, the software is less responsive, it is slower, it is less intuitive, but it has a little bit more customizability, I would say, than the Tesla software. So just using my experience with Tesla, just to compare with the Volkswagen software, that's how I feel. Anyway, like practicality of this car, let's talk a little bit about practicality. We have 2 USB-C ports here. We have a wireless phone charger, which actually kind of works, I think. That's my experience, at least. It's not cooled, but yeah, so your phone will heat up. This terrible glossy black plastic, I don't understand that. We have this thing here to have stuff. You have cup holders, you have quite a lot of space here, and I will show you the rear seats, because the rear seats are important in a car like this, I think. And we have space. We have quite a bit of space. No glass roof in this Pure, and yeah, I must say that I'm quite impressed with the space in this car in general. 2 more USB-C ports here, so this car has more USB-C ports than a Tesla. Tesla only has 3, 1 in the front, 2 in the rear. So that's interesting. And now let's take a look at the boot space. Is that what you call it in England? Is that boot and then it's trunk in the US? Not sure. You open it with the logo. And here you have quite a lot of space actually, but this car doesn't have a frunk, so you need this space. So let's see. Oh, we have even more space down here. I didn't know that actually in the ID.3. Quite impressive. Quite impressive amount of space. Here we have, let's see, a ski hatch that's made for Norwegians. Very, very impressed with that. 145 kilowatt fast charging on a small battery means 10 to 80% in 26 minutes, so that's good. Of course, it's not the best charging speed, 145, but it's like okay, I would say. The larger battery ID.3 charges way better and actually pretty great for like a 400 volt car. Like this one also charges pretty great considering the battery size. That was a quick summary of the ID.3 Pure. I want to do more with this car, so leave a comment down below if you have any questions about the ID.3 in general, for the price, at the right like leasing extreme deal. I would go for this car. Drives great, great tuning of the pedal. Unfortunately, no one pedal driving. The 52 kilowatt hour battery will get you 388 kilometers VLTP, which is not too far on like a long road trip, but it's still 100 kilometers more than the i3 that I had earlier, which was a way more expensive car, new than this one. And yeah, it's isolated. The ride comfort is good. And the noise performance is good, and yeah, really cool little car, and it's great to see what you can get at the cheapest possible price from Volkswagen.